Libra, and we will be having a look to see how your special person is feeling, okay, where they're at, how they're perceiving the current situation that you find yourself in. So we'll give the cards a good shuffle and see what comes up next to them. Okay, Libra, I feel like this person is moving fairly consistently towards more loyalty and commitment. We see the King of Pentacles here. He's the last king of the deck, can represent the sign of Taurus, or what Taurus represents. Okay, then this is sort of the strong and silent type. This is the strong and steady. This is the anchoring. So someone is trying to anchor themselves more, okay, in the situation. And they're working very, very hard to do that. So I love that there's hard work that this person is applying. But at the same time, they feel like it could be a bit of a burden. The King of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, this is tradition. So someone's maybe trying hard to impose their traditional ways on you, Libra. It could be whatever they see in relationships. So maybe they want to move in, maybe they want to see you 3 times a week, maybe they don't want you to add other people on social media. You know, there's something here that is quite traditional for them. They see relationships this way. And they are trying to put that on you a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily forceful, but I think they feel that if this is you coming up as a Page of Swords, that you're not really... a part of you isn't really buying it, maybe for some reason. So maybe they feel like you're not really convinced of what they're trying to do. I mean, sometimes a Page of Swords is seen looking back to the past, so I wonder if there's someone here who feels like you keep looking back, or you're looking back at something. I think it's more to do with this. Whatever they're trying to work towards, the efforts that they're trying to make, Libra, they may see that you are just not feeling overly confident about it, or you're not overly convinced. It's the Page of Swords can be like reservations, having reservations about things. But I also associate this card with regret because it looks back. And here you are looking back here. So I'm wondering if they feel... or they know that you are regretting taking some sort of step with them. Could be marriage, could be moving in together. It could be certain rules within the relationship. Could be saying I love you. Could be anything really. But on some level, they may be feeling that you're not overly convinced. And they could be feeling a bit of exhaustion here. But they're still trying. I don't think that effort is going to disappear. I think the effort on their part is still there. So there's still consistency because there's 2 Pentacle cards here. So this is quite good. Consistency within this connection. The Page of Pentacles, it's all he thinks and fantasizes about is this pentacle here. So there's someone here who's very fixated on something. I do feel like it's tradition though. I do think it comes from a place of tradition or consistency or loyalty. They're very fixated on a theme or something that they want, and they may, again, perhaps not in a forceful way, but they may keep bringing this up. Or they may be very focused on it. And if it is in a forceful way, the more they push against, or the more they push for, perhaps the more you're pushing against. So maybe this works hand in hand. It could be ideals of marriage, of commitment, of relationships. Or they want to be in a happy place with you, celebrating love. Maybe some of you have had a bit of this in the relationship, and they want to just sort of leave that stuff aside for now, maybe, and just celebrate and feel good about your union. King of Pentacles, King of Cups, this is powerful feelings at play. The King of Cups, very strong emotions, possibly even love, big attachment here. So this is, I always see it as like falling in deep love. So maybe this is what that person is experiencing now. And this is why they're thinking about the milestones. So if you know they're sort of pushing for that, if they're fixated on that, then we know maybe they're ahead in this connection than you are. At least for some of you Librans watching, they may be feeling more emotionally, they're ahead of you in some ways. And I know it's not a race, it's not a competition, it's a natural thing that occurs. But for this person, that's where they want to be. I think they're genuinely there. They've tried to get there in the physical realm, so they may have done steps to be more involved, more attached, but they're actually getting there. Strong water energy, and you did have Cancer coming up for you. It's emotional security, and we see security, the castle, you know, the fortress, it's strong and mighty, it's secure. So it could be that someone doesn't feel secure until you have some sort of milestones, I think. Until you give them something that they feel will solidify how serious you are about the connection, maybe, Libra. It might be that they want you to do something for them directly, or perhaps for your relationship, because on some level they feel like it's going to show that you are committed, and it's sort of protected, or like seals the deal, so to speak, if that makes any sense at all. So, you know, putting things in concrete, I think. You can see his stone slab throne here made of concrete. So perhaps this is what's coming up. They need to see that. And they've been, like I said, pushing for it. If this isn't you as the Page of Swords, then maybe they're looking back from what they've done before in relationships, and they may be doing it with you, and they may communicate that and say, oh, look, I've done this with my ex, or I've done this in the past, or we've done this before in the past. So there's something that they may have remembered or applied from past experiences and are now applying it to your relationship, to your marriage, to your connection, hoping that it would work, hoping that it would bring about loyalty, a settled, consistent relationship, monogamy even for some of you. Now, hoping something will come out of it, but I think it's something to do with tradition, or at least a traditional relationship for them, and what that means. Because that fixation is here. Maybe they feel like they emotionally cannot progress until they have that. Maybe they feel like there's a block. And without that, if they don't have the pentacle, then they can't fully immerse themselves in the love experience. They might be holding themselves back here, Libra. But they're coming up with king energy, 2 kings. So if you're not seeing it now, there is a lot of potential for them to feel a lot and accept a lot. But for some reason, I feel like there's exhaustion on their part. I mean, maybe they just want things done a certain way, and they're exhausted because you don't operate the same way. You're not the same as a partner, as a lover, as a spouse, and maybe this frustrates them a little bit. Could also be that they can't move past something. They're still stuck on it. The Page is like stuck on this idea, and he sits right below Cancer. Cancer can be the past, and then he's looking back. So maybe it's someone that's fixated on something about your past. And they want to be happy, they want to move forward, but for some reason it's such a big issue for them to do that. It's so complicated for them to do that. But again, another very, very interesting reading, Libra. So I will leave it at that. But I do want you to remember that this is a very general reading. There may or may not be bits and pieces within this reading that applies to your situation.